All right, hello everyone. My name is Jasmine Brunson. I'm the CEO and founder of Rektify. We are a Web3 security platform making Web3 intelligent. I'm going to go into the space of what Web3 is a little bit later. But on this talk, we're talking about how big data analytics can mitigate Web3's risk landscape. We're going to go in depth of how we can use AI and ML to support this initiative. So first, to start off, who am I? My name is Jasmine Brunson. I'm the CEO and founder of Rektify. I'm a data scientist. I studied information science at the University of Maryland College Park. I also worked at NASA JPL as a machine learning intern way back in 2020. So right there, right around the corner. I worked at Maturation Technologies as a data scientist last year as well. And also as an interim database engineer, I was working for a DeFi insurance solution and in the world of decentralized finance. Now, I'm a two-time founder. I created a company called Blockchain Culture in 2019, educating Black and brown communities about how to buy Bitcoin, how to invest, where to invest. And then also, I work as a founder of Web3 security solution called Rektify, formerly known as Labs. So our accomplishments to date, we wanted to show you all grant competition by Rektify and the Lost Kids Society team. I was super excited about that. That was back in March. And then also, we won the Black Bitcoin Leaders Demo Day. It was a really exciting opportunity, hosted by Brunson, Isaiah Jackson, as well as Naja Roberts, who has her own brick and mortar Bitcoin store in Inglewood, California. Also, we just were accepted to the NVIDIA Inception program. Super excited about that. We have some AI thought leaders in the building. So you guys know NVIDIA is the head GPU company to this day, right? And then lastly, yesterday we just found out we won the Tron Grand Hackathon competition. We won third place for the DeFi one, which is really exciting. Tron is a blockchain where you can create really nice and neat solutions on their blockchain. So before we get into how we can use AI and ML to mitigate the risk landscape of Web3, we have to define what is Web3. What is blockchain? What is cryptocurrency? Web3 is the third iteration of the internet. We have the ownership economy. Well, now artists are going into the space, leveraging NFTs to sell peer-to-peer to their consumers instead of worrying about a record label or some type of intermediary taking off the top when it comes to fees. And so with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in itself is the first ever cryptocurrency. It was created by an anonymous source named Satoshi Nakamoto, who decided, hey, we're not going to fix the traditional financial issues for protests. We're going to fix this with technology. We're going to use SHA-256 to build back the block. And then also we have blockchain itself. In the words of Mark Ginsburg, blockchain is tech, but Bitcoin is the first mainstream manifestation of its potential. We can use blockchain technology in different types of industries. You can hear artificial intelligence for commerce, right? Supply chain, finance, democracy, and governance. There's a multitude of ways where we can use this technology in different industries. And so here are the pros and cons. We have some components where it's permissionless, it's borderless, it's transparent and private, right? It's global. We have self-sovereignty when we have our assets in our wallets instead of keeping the assets in the bank, and the bank only gives us, you guys know this, a really small APY each year. And then also, at the end of the day, a lot of people who work day to day, they want to have ownership of their value, right? So also Bitcoin and crypto is a store of value. The cons, it's the land of the unknown. If you don't know anything about, Bitcoin or blockchain, 9 times out of 10 you're going to experience what's called a rapid risk or rug, which is prevalent in the space. The high volatility, it does not make people happy. It kind of makes people kind of scared about the state of stability of the space. And also the lack of regulation. We're still waiting here in the United States for regulation for the space of crypto. We're still waiting for the United States to decide how do we tax a swap, how do we tax an airdrop, which does create disdain for some people who are trying to enter the space. So we have this thing in crypto called tuition. Everyone has to pay their tuition in space. Whether you're in a pump and dump scheme that Elon Musk just tweeted, or Snoop Dogg is telling you to go buy Dogecoin, it's going to the moon. It's very easy to get susceptible to these celebrity tweets and all these other things that are out here trying to teach you and tell you, hey, buy this coin, it's the future. We have this thing in crypto called BYOR, do your own research. But the risk landscape is showing that there needs to be more safeguards. there needs to be more things that protects people from even getting a record or run from the start. So here at Rektify, we think that about more than 80% of people are susceptible to risk or run in their blockchain journey. So one of my favorite authors in this space, his name is Stephen Williams, and he says, vigilance is important if blockchain is to fulfill its best promises. He's the author of Blockchain and That's Everything. So what are the attacks that are out here in the Web3 space, right? We have everything from altcoins, DAOs, just typical crypto scams, right? 51% attacks, where 51% of the network is taken over by or hijacked by hackers. We have exit scams, where project founders will create a project, sell it to you, and then leave. Also, we have pump and dump schemes, and then in decentralized finance. All decentralized finance is traditional financial services done on the blockchain. Trading, lending, borrowing, what have you. But the decentralized finance industry has, time and time again, showed us that there's a plethora of exploits and potential for vulnerabilities. We have NFTs as well, and then decentralized storage where there's tons of attacks that are deployed on decentralized storage systems. So here's the growth rate of these hack schemes and exploits in Web3. Here we have the ecosystem, NFTs, exchanges, and then all before the hacks. Some of this data is pulled from our Rektify AI API. But in the beginning of this year, for the first 3 months, 97% of hacks and exploits stem from decentralized finance. So what are smart contracts? Smart contracts in themselves are just contracts that are on the blockchain. They're contracts that are backed by cryptographic code. Unlike regular contracts in business, this is a cryptographic contract where it enforces all the conditions on the blockchain. It enforces all conditions using code. So there's no need for any type of intermediary. No need for a lawyer, no need for a third-party entity to settle that transaction. So here are the vulnerabilities that lie on blockchains. It tends to be most of the smart contracts. It tends to be flash loans where a person doesn't need little to no security to take out an uncollateralized loan. We also have just regular smart contracts or DApps are built from, and then also cross-chain bridges. Cross-chain bridges are a new innovation in crypto where people get to transact value across different types of blockchains, Ethereum, all of that. So what are some solutions for AI and public health? Smart contract vulnerability detection. That's the number one need right now. Also, flash loan vulnerability detection, which actually extends to the smart contract itself. We can leverage graph neural networks to detect these smart contract bugs, prevent projects from losing millions of dollars in exploits. We can also help the lending and borrowing protocols, such as Compound and Automate, to prevent the potential of their flash loans being garnered by hackers. And lastly, with DOS attacks. DOS attacks have pillaged the world of NFTs for the past 2 years, right? The UI goes down because of high traffic volume from hackers. So let's leverage self-organizing maps to do this. So in this case, I know we have a lot of AI players, so you guys know what this means, right? Signal function that will tell you 0 if there's no vulnerability that's detected. It'll tell you 1 if there's a vulnerability detected in smart contract. Here are a couple of functions in smart contracts that tend to lead to susceptibilities. We have a call.value function, which tends to lead to vulnerability with reentrancy, right? We have the block.timestamp function, where it's susceptible to time dependency issues. And also, just about any function in the smart contract is susceptible to infinite loop. Here are some of the major attacks that have happened in the past few years, but to get a little bit in depth in the seriousness of this issue that we have in crypto. I created this to kind of give you an idea. We had the Roman network, the wormhole, and the nomad bridge attack happened just this year. $624 million was lost this February in the Roman bridge attack. We also had the wormhole bridge attack, which is a bridge that was created by Solana that lost $326 million. And also the nomad bridge attack literally happened 2 weeks ago. This space is new, and we need the leaders in AI and ML, as well as cybersecurity, to come over to Web3, come support us here at the podcast, and let's be champions of Web3 security, detecting vulnerabilities before they graduate to attacks. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Like I said, thank you so much for joining this talk. My name is Jasmine. If you have any questions, just let me know.